What's going on, guys? This is gonna be one of those very raw videos, not heavily produced or scripted or anything in that aspect. I was watching a video just now about me documenting a couple of my moments. It's kind of lame because there's only 2 videos where I took the time, sat down, and talked about my experience as I started my internship in DC a little less than a year ago, so back in June or July, sometime around then. But I was watching those videos, and it's really cool to see, how your own thought process changes over time, or perhaps aligns with where you are now, and how that has impacted your decisions based on your thinking. What is unfortunate about it is that I wish I documented more to see the change and evolution in my thought process. But in seeing that, I'm creating this video and documenting some of these moments now that we're in this pandemic. And so one of the first things I was thinking of, so right now it's 12:47 a.m. And the first thing I'll say about that is that my routines that I was pretty strict with since starting the internship, more out of necessity than anything, I built up a pretty strong routine for doing things, waking up usually at 5 or 6 in the morning because I needed to commute into the internship or get things done. It was a very strong routine because my life was dictated by 3 major categories. One was internship, which was usually in the morning, followed by work, which is morning to afternoon, followed by school, which is at night, and weekends. And weekends was usually like a catch-up time for everything else. But because of necessity, I was able to build up pretty strong routines that I maintained well until maybe a month ago. And I think that's another thing I was thinking about today is how, or I've been thinking about the last couple days, how my routines have been destroyed. I mean, it's 12:49 a.m. This is late, very late for me, and it's been like this for about a month now. My sleep schedule usually is at 9 or 10 p.m. and it has been for almost a year. But 1 month ago, I was probably extremely depressed. I took nearly the entire month off because I just could not balance everything at once. And it was a very stressful time. And it wasn't only stressful because I couldn't balance things, but because of 2 other events, or I guess 3 other events that really put me over. One was that my capstone was coming up, all the deadlines were coming up, and I was just missing every single deadline. And so I was taking a lot of PTO just to try and catch up on that work, amongst all my other side projects that I haven't really discussed with the audience. So all the deadlines were missing, so I took a lot of PTO for that. The second thing was, it was also Pharmacy Match Day, and it's very painful to see when people don't match. It happens every year, but being in the position where I didn't match myself, I feel their pain, and it really sucks. So what was terrible about that situation was I wasn't really responding or trying to help at all in that situation. And usually every year I do in some capacity, whether it's talking to students who didn't match, because there's usually a lot of students that reach out to me. And that time, a month ago, I wasn't doing that because I was just so overwhelmed. And then the other thing was the pandemic, obviously. I mean, everything just shifted a month ago where life changed completely. Not so much for me because I work remote 100%. I still went out a little bit, so it wasn't a huge change for me, but it was a huge change for everyone else, and that was how it impacted me. And how it impacted me was because family and friends were affected, and it was very hard to not do anything because I wasn't doing much at the time. I was trying to focus on getting all these other requirements that I had on myself completed, and I really was not doing much. So what I'm trying to say, long story short, is that about a month ago, all my routines got blown up because I did a complete 180 as maybe like 1 or 2 weeks into the pandemic, and I got myself super involved. I jumped at every single opportunity I could to help contribute to the pandemic, to whatever abilities I had. And there's a couple things I did. Let's see. One of the first things, and the easiest one, was just enrolling in an additional 2-credit class that I don't need to graduate, and paid like $2,000 for that class. It's insane. The tuition's expensive, but I did that because I wanted to be able to contribute in some way, whether it's to the pandemic as a whole or to make sure I give good advice to my own family and friends, but in a curated and succinct way. And I thought the class could do that because we have all these different experts on the front lines talking to us about what should be done, and it has done that pretty well. It's still very difficult to keep up with, because in doing that, now I have 9 credits, the most I've ever taken in any semester, and it's been hard to keep up in general. So that was hard. But another thing was Hopkins initiative, where we are trying to take the content that public health agencies at Hopkins is producing and curated, and we're translating it to many different languages, and so other countries can benefit. And I've been helping out as much as I can doing video editing for them, because we're distributing videos. The initiative itself is called COVID-Video 19. So that has been another opportunity. And then the third thing is virtual APPEs for pharmacy students. I was trying to figure out anything I can do to help contribute to the pandemic, and obviously I'm in pharmacy, so I thought that would be an easy thing that I can at least help contribute to, because I'm a little bit more knowledgeable in pharmacy. So we're trying to create some solution to help all the students that got displaced from rotations, and so whatever that meant. And right now, so far, that has become a database of rotations where preceptors can sign up, and then students can use that, show that to their APP coordinators, and their pharmacy schools can match them with virtual rotations. So those things, amongst many other COVID-19 projects that I'm like dabbling with, has completely ruined my schedule. That's one, and it is very late. And so that's been on my mind lately, because I've been just wondering what has gone wrong with my schedule. I've been pretty diligent about. And then this video is probably way too long right now, but I'll say one more thing, and that is, it is April 19th. In exactly a month, I will be graduating from my master's in public health. And it is a crazy idea. I mean, it's not an idea, it's a fact. I'm graduating in a year. What am I talking about? I'm completely messing up here. I'm graduating in a month. The fact that that's gonna happen blows my mind, because I've been in this program for 2.5 years now. And it's been, work, school, and all my other side projects. And that's going to stop. And I mean, the last year has been not only work and school, it's been work, school, and internship, plus side projects. So in a month, all of that is going to disappear. That boggles my mind. On one side, I am so excited for this to, I don't want to say go away, because I really have enjoyed the program quite a bit. But I have also struggled a lot, because it's taken a huge toll on time, essentially. Completely worth it. I don't regret a single ounce of it. But now that it's 1 month from ending, I think the idea is that I don't know what to do. And I think something I've realized, especially probably over the last year or 2 years, even during the early part of the program, was thinking about what I should be doing next. And that's always on my mind now, is what is my next step? I realize that I myself need some organization of what I should be working towards. And at the moment, I really don't know what that should be. And I don't know how many folks know this out there, but in 2013, I started my residency, my PGY1 at Sarasota. And in any type of educational capacity or program, they have you write down your goals. Even when you're applying to residency, right? You gotta write down your short-term and long-term goals. My short-term goals, was it short-term or long-term? I think it was long-term at the time. I can't remember exactly, but it was one or the other. But basically, you set these goals that are a couple years out. And at the time, at 2013, I vividly remember I had two, pretty sure it's long-term goals now, long-term goals of one, getting my BCPS, which I did get 3 years later in 2016. That was very exciting. And the second goal was to get a master's in public health. And it's been a huge goal of mine for so long. I'm 2 years late because I wanted to get those goals within 5 years of 2013. So I'm 2 years late on my MPH, but those were the goals I set a long time ago. Aside from my lifetime goal, which I've stated many times in my previous videos, I don't have any other tangible objective goals that I've set. And so I think as the program wraps up, I'm just thinking, what is the next step? So that's kind of probably been what's on my mind in the last, while, months, year. And yeah, there's no conclusion to this video. It's simply documenting my thoughts at now 1 a.m. And I hope I can feel sleepy soon, because I really need to go to sleep. So I'll wrap this video up, and maybe I can do more of these. I have no idea if people watch these types of videos, but I certainly watch a lot of them because it's good to go back and see what you were thinking. All right, that's gonna be it for the video, and until next time.